as Metanoia, which means a spiritual conversion or a complete change of the heart, a complete change of your being. In that state, suddenly a new man emerges from within you. I have to tell you on the basis of my own authority that the spiritual expression inner journey is absolutely a misnomer. Truly speaking, spiritual journey is no journey at all, because it is a natural byproduct of the end of all journeys in life. If you are making an effort for inner journey, take it for sure that your inner energies are still running outward, because all effort takes your energies only outwards. There can be no journey inwards, because you have always been there, and even now you are only there. In fact, when desires are no more causing the movement of your energies outward, in that desire-free state of consciousness, you find yourself suddenly in. But it is in no way turning in, it is simply stopping just where you are. Simply not going out is keeping in. And for keeping yourself in, you simply need not going out. In this way, turning in or going inwards is in no way either turning or going anywhere in any way. It simply means realizing the illusoriness or futility of the dreams and desires of life. It is also a realization of the fact that dreams and desires of your life take you nowhere. They never offer you any fulfillment. They invariably bring frustration and disappointment. In that seeing or in that clarity, desires and dreams disappear on their own. In a state of such realization, dreams and desires can never exist. It is very significant to point out at this stage, it is not that first you have to drop desiring and after that you will have to start the process of turning in. The cessation of desire is the turning. Jesus calls the same as Metanoia, which means a spiritual conversion or a complete change of the heart, a complete change of your being. In that state, suddenly a new man emerges from within you who was already there, but you were never aware of the same. You could never be aware of the same just because you were too much obsessed with the desires and dreams of life. The desire for money, power, and prestige does not allow your meditation to bloom. In fact, the whole energy goes down the drain in dreams and desires of life. Once your energies are not moving out due to absence of desires, a unique stillness depends upon you. Now the whole world around you stops, and then suddenly you find yourself in. That is what is meant by turning in. You had always been there, but now you become awake to it. This is what is meant by enlightenment, to become aware and awake of all that which is already there. I have to tell you that from the beginning to the very end, in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end, all of you are Buddhas. Even for a moment you have not been anybody else, but the emperor is having a nightmare of having become a beggar and is being tortured for living as a beggar throughout his life because of this nightmare. Once you become aware of the fact to the depth of your heart and being that running after desires is going to take you nowhere, that it is totally a futile effort, that you are going to waste your whole life in this process of running to fulfill your dreams and desires, this realization of futility of desires will ultimately lead you to the great understanding that now you must stop. As a consequence of this in-depth realization, you have not to make any effort to stop. Ultimately, you happen to stop on your own. If you are still making efforts to go inwards, it simply means that you are still in the process of desiring. Maybe now you are desiring a state of desirelessness. However, out of compassion, the spiritual masters had to use the expression inner journey or turning in or turning inwards just to make you understand the whole truth. It is simply because there are limitations in the language of men to express certain deepest truths of life. To explain this point, I will like to draw your attention towards a famous parable. Once upon a time, a turtle went for a walk on the solid land in the nearby forest. He enjoyed the beautiful green trees, the bushes, and the sunlight there. But when he returned to the pond, one of his friends, a fish, asked him, "Where have you been so long?" The turtle said, "I had gone for a walk on the solid land." The fish asked, "What do you mean by a walk on the solid land?" "I understand it must be swimming." It simply means that you had gone swimming on the land. The turtle said, "No, there was nothing like swimming. It is quite impossible to swim on the solid land. It was just a walk." The fish said, "Stop kidding with me. I have gone to every place around. You can swim everywhere. There is no place where you cannot swim. Perhaps you have gone mad. Please stop talking nonsense." You can understand the difficulty of the fish simply because the fish knows nothing except swimming. The fish can never understand the concept of walking. You can understand the difficulty of the fish to understand the meaning of walking on the solid land. If you understand the difficulty of the fish, it would be better that the turtle must have said, "I went swimming on the solid land." It will sound quite absurd, quite meaningless, but only the word swimming can be understood by the fish. Similarly, a mind filled with desires can understand only the language of desires. That is why there comes the desire for God. Truly speaking, it is quite absurd. You cannot desire God just because God is already there. But you can experience Him only when you are totally free of desires, only when your consciousness is totally free from desires. In that state of freedom from desires, your consciousness gets its self-established. In that desire-free state of consciousness, whatever you experience is the experience of God. But man has a unique capacity to dream. It has a unique capacity to jump into the future, and that is why the whole problem arises. Every moment you are dreaming and planning for the future, and in this process you become totally unconscious of yourself, and you remain unconscious of yourself throughout, and that is how you miss the whole of your being. You miss the experience of God. For example, you are very much in Delhi, but you start dreaming of being in Moscow, Chicago, New York, and Singapore. When you are roaming in Moscow, Chicago, Singapore, and New York, no doubt you are still in Delhi. Similarly, you are always in a state of godliness, but you have been continuously moving outwards into dreams and desires. You are always lost into dreams and desires, so much obsessed with them that you never become conscious of yourself. You never become conscious of your godliness, and that is how you continue missing godliness throughout your life. Just be alert, aware, and awake. Godliness is always right here, right now. Thank you.